Since the 1970s, urbanisation has radically changed the Currimundi catchment, which now comprises a lake, 2 creeks, 3 canals and connection to Lake Kawana. In December 2000, Councillor Elaine Darling invited local residents to a meeting to form the Friends of North West Lake Currimundi. The first general meeting was held in March 2001, and a year later the name was changed to the Currimundi Catchment Care Group. Members were hands-on people. Their focus was on siltation, bank erosion and water quality. And planting along the banks helped to address all of these problems. Council's Environment Officer, Darcel Hegarty, gave the group expert advice and direction. And the first lesson learnt was, always finish with a sausage sizzle. On Clean Up Australia Day, members picked up rubbish and worked with students in the catchment. They also took the initiative and distributed butt bins from recycled film canisters and stencilled over 300 stormwater drains. Currimundi Beach is certainly an award winner. Members supported the commitment of Friends of Currimundi Lake and saw the area receive the highest recognition of National Clean Beach 2004. The water monitoring program began in 2003 under the guidance of Mooloolah Water Watch and the ongoing support of Maroochy Water Watch. There are now 20 residents trained in water monitoring who test every month at 24 sites in the streams, canals, creeks and lake of the catchment. And their efforts were awarded in 2007. Monthly calibration of the Hariba is shared between members of our group and Friends of Currimundi Lake. Our members are great planters, and over the years we have organised many residents to help plant on National Tree Day. Combining with Parkland's community group for the past 2 years, we have drawn more than 250 people of all ages to help restore a previously cleared area to native bushland. Clean Up Australia Day is another annual hands-on event for picking up sometimes very unusual rubbish and litter from local parks and waterways and from beautiful Kawana forest. Weed Busters is another Heads Down Day, a time to remove invasive weeds from our local parks and forest, so that native plants have a chance to grow and to flourish. The very beautiful Richmond birdwing butterfly needs a special vine to lay its eggs. In 2010, members of all ages and sizes planted a flight way of 150 vines along Currimundi Creek and Currimundi Lake, and 20 international students from Luxembourg were only too pleased to help. River sweep means getting out onto watercraft to pick up the rubbish floating in the water and whatever rubbish is trapped in the banks. The Council's Waterways team supports us each year. Working with Council's Natural Areas team, a significant initiative in 2009 was building 60 metres in 2 stages of coir log walls to act as a bank stabiliser along an eroded section of Currimundi Lake. It was hard, dirty, wet work, but we enjoyed it. "15 months later, the vegetation was flourishing. And 2 years later, despite prolonged soaking, king tides and raging floods, the stabilising wall is still solid. Forget the balloons, fly a kite instead. Led by Council's Susan Aspland and supported by 200 people, we had a most successful afternoon of decorating kites to celebrate World Environment Day. The sandbanks of Currimundi Lake were a perfect setting. Our message was simple: kites are colourful, kites fly high, but kites go home with their owners. These 5 pillars of community artwork were created from drawings made by both adults and children to represent what was important to them from living in the Currimundi catchment. Our council and local representatives were again highly visible in their support. For 2 years, we led a walk through Kawana Forest, a beautiful littoral rainforest. Then, for 2 years, we have guided visitors on a kayaking tour to look at the native flora and the changing ecosystems along Currimundi Lake and Currimundi Creek. And have consulted on the development of the Currimundi Canoe Trail. Birdwatching days have been great fun, and the catchment still has some wonderful places for viewing and learning. Wave watch from speeding boats creates widespread problems of erosion. Supported by Council's Waterways team and Maritime Safety Queensland, the speed limit of 6 knots no wash has been the message of our publicity campaign for the last 3 years. The whole community feels very strongly about this message and has shown great support for this campaign. Central to the group's successful decade has been our newsletter, which began as Currimundi News and is now the Currimundi Lake Catchment News. The direction and dedication of our editors was recognised in a 2009 Froggies Highly Commended Award for Environmental Communication. More recently, the group's efforts have been recognised in a range of areas. Our members come in all shapes and sizes, all ages and nationalities, from all walks of life, but whether tall or short, young or old, past or present, home or away, all members have shared the same willingness to work for the environment of the Currimundi catchment, based simply on the belief that everyone can make a difference. thank you to everyone who has contributed to the success of the Currimundi Catchment Care Group over the past 10 years.